Alright, so after piecing the car back together, that air intake box, the rear camshaft plug, we took it for a test drive and we got a misfire. So the check engine light was flashing on the dashboard. And the most simplest thing to do would be to swap out the plugs. So here are your coil packs in the plug. This is a 10mm nut. You just take off this 10mm. It goes on the plugs right here, or the coil packs, and then it just slides right out after you unclip them right there. Pretty easy, about as easy as it comes. And sorry for the camera. And then we loosened the first plug, and I didn't loosen it all the way. I tightened it back in there after I looked at it. All right, let's try it one more time. And this is a 5/8 or 16 mil. All right, we're gonna loosen this plug. And my little rubber grommet to grab the spark plug is actually missing, so we're just gonna use a magnet, stick it down in there, pull it out, and let's see here. These are NGKs, and they are charred to a crisp. Let's see, there we go. NGKs charred to a crisp. It is wet. That's my fault. It wasn't wet when it was down in the cylinder. See, camera won't focus. Long story short, I pulled that first plug and it was charred to a crisp, so I decided to run down to the only auto parts store open, O'Reilly's. They open the earliest, and got 4 new plugs. I tried to get coil packs too, because I was just going to say the heck with it and swap them out, but they didn't carry, or they didn't have them in stock. So I decided just to go with the plugs, and we'll see if that fixes our misfire before we do anything else, because it's the cheapest way. And I'll pull the next plug and we'll take a look at it. Alright, so I just loosened the second plug. And let's take a look at this bad boy. Oh my goodness. Failing for the camera. I thought I had backed it out all the way. Alright, let's try now. Alright, come on. There we go. Let's see if we can get it to focus. I mean, pretty charred up. So that's the second plug. Let's take a look at the third. Alright, so here's all 4 of the plugs as they came out. And yeah, I mean, they're $3.99. There's no sense in just swapping out your plugs. It's literally the easiest thing you can do. So we're going to drop these back in there and see if we still have our misfire. So here is the new plug versus the old plug that we're putting in. And we're just going to drop these down into the cylinder. Ideally, I'd have the little rubber grommet on there, and I'd be able to just set them down exactly where they go, but it is what it is. Now we're going to drop the new ones in and tighten them up and piece this thing back together. Alright, so this is the first coil pack that I took out, and who knows, we could have a misfire with one of these coil packs, but I just cleaned it off with a little paper towel, and we're gonna drop it back down in. I kept track of which cylinder I pulled each of these out of. That way we're putting them back in the exact same spot. Boom, put that on there. Snap it back on. Let's see, find the small 10mm nut that goes on top. And then just basically hand tighten it. Make sure your plug's seated down all the way, and repeat that in the other cylinders. Alright, so now that we have the coil packs back in and the brand new spark plugs in, we're going to drop this little Honda cover back over it. I'm kind of showing you guys this backwards because I wasn't filming when I first took it off early this morning. And my only thought, like I said, I'm horrible with the camera. I just want to get the job done. But, okay, there we go. Push those in. And then you just take a flathead screwdriver, and they're just quarter turn, which means you just turn them sideways. They're straight up and down. Just turn them horizontally. Boom. And it's locked in. So now let's fire it up and see if we have this check engine light. Make sure I didn't leave any tools under here. Looks good. Usually I like to leave the tools up on top, right around there. I was setting spark plugs on the air box, so make sure there's nothing around there. I didn't drop anything today, which is good, so at least I don't think I did. Well, we'll find out. Alright, let's hop in here. Turn this bad boy on. Okay. Alright, here it goes, here it goes. Okay, we do actually have a check engine light on. I'm gonna take this thing for a drive real quick, you know. Oh, I better turn the camera that way. Dang. Let's pause here and we'll go for a drive. Alright, so I just started the drive here and I can't turn the camera around. I wanted to face it at me, that way we can do this little drive, but you know what? I'll just clip you guys back in. Alright, so after driving the car about 60 miles or so, probably it was just a matter of running it for a little bit, turning it off, and then turning it back on, letting everything register. The check engine light came off once we replaced the spark plugs, so now we are running, I mean, pretty good. It feels more responsive than when I first bought it. So now that we got the check engine light off and we're running good there, we have actually stopped the oil leak. There's no more oil. I'm never going to get this shot, but basically there's no more oil down there. I mean, there was engine oil all over the transmission top, and it was just running down the exhaust and all the way through the back because it was leaking through the camshaft seal. And yeah, so we stopped the oil leak. We got rid of the check engine light. We just did a fresh oil change, 5W20, and replaced the oil filter that was in there. There we go, a Pronto one. I like Mobile One. I tried to get their oil and their oil filters, but they were actually all out of Mobile One oil filters, so I got a Fram full synthetic 7317, in case anyone's wondering, on an 05 Civic. And yeah, we're running good, looking good. I finally got the car all primered, this fatigue green looking color. It's kind of like a gray, and I really do like it in small portions, but when the whole car is that color, it's just kind of plain. So I actually bought some rattle can plasti dip, and I'm gonna shoot the, I don't know if I'm gonna shoot the rims yet, the steelies on the bottom side, or if I'm gonna shoot the actual little hubcaps. We'll see once I get everything off. Maybe I'll do one side hubcaps, one side steelies, and go from there. But all in all, I'm happy with how the car's coming together. We just actually are checking the MPG again to see if the spark plug change is going to change my MPG. I was getting like 29 to 31, which is pretty good highway and city driving. So that was an average of about 4 tanks. So I'm gonna check it again for about another 4 tanks and see if those spark plugs made a difference. And yeah, we're gonna keep working on this bad boy. But really appreciate you guys checking out this video. Make sure to subscribe and see what other projects we got going.